Orchard District. This is one of my favorites, but it's not because of the apples. The Orchard District actually occupies the same area as another popular area known as Midtown. And Midtown is hot. We're gonna talk about the area, the amenities, and the neighborhoods here. So let's jump into the Orchard District and kind of by proxy, Midtown. So where are we? Now, this area isn't exactly identified very cleanly by, some longitudes and latitudes, but we'll do our best. The Orchard District spans from the western edge of basically the Parkway east towards Pilot Butte. It's kind of like the eastern edge. And from Franklin Road to the south to just north of Butler Market to the north. There's a few neighborhoods right above Butler Market. It actually goes all the way towards the canal, the Pilot Butte Canal, I think it is. Pretty sure it's Pilot Butte Canal. Literally, it took me 20 minutes to research that and figure out what the name of that canal was, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Franklin Road to Pilot Butte Canal. Now, Pilot Butte, as perfectly round and pimple-like as it is, what? It is. It's kind of like a, anyway. It just seems to jet straight up, but really there is some topography around it. The mound itself that you see in the middle of town, down at the base, there is some kind of rolling hills there, I guess you would say, and Midtown is kind of on the edge of that. It's a nice treed area, lots of big ponderosas, and the homes were built back in the 70s and 80s. They've got a really great mid-century modern feel to them, until it slopes down towards 97 more, where things get a lot more flat. And then of course that's where you kind of have the commercial district along 3rd Street there. Okay, so that's kind of what it looks like. Let's go ahead and talk about the amenities. Like I said, we got quite a bit of commercial space along the 3rd Street corridor there. A couple of grocery stores, a bunch of fast food chains, coffee shops, chiropractors, dentists, just a bunch of commercial businesses. The Midtown Yacht Club is a really great food truck lot. I've already said this, but there's some really great coffee shops there. I mean, it's not just 3rd Street we're talking about here. There's actually a large chunk of Greenwood that spans this district as well. And Greenwood, as you may or may not know, is the main east-west kind of road or corridor that cuts through the middle of town, where all of the commercial space is located along that as well. So between the two main commercial roads, it's a busy hopping area. Oh, and get this, it's also where the last Blockbuster on Earth is located. Opened in 1989, this particular Blockbuster has managed to survive throughout the rise of DVD and Blu-ray players, online streaming services, and the decline of brick and mortar stores throughout the nation. Cool, eh? Parks. We got some really cool parks to talk about here. First of all, one of the kind of centerpieces to our Bend Park and Recs department, like a flagship recreational center. Drum roll, please. The Juniper Swim and Fitness Center. Juniper is great, and it's one of Bend's most focal and well-known recreational facilities here. They have an indoor 25-meter pool, along with a kiddie pool for teaching lessons, and then there's a 50-meter Olympic-sized swimming pool that's kind of indoor-outdoor. You see, they've got this cover that goes over the top of it. It's covered in the winter, and they open it up to the beautiful summer air in the summertime. It's like a convertible, except they're not doing that this year. I don't know why, it's kind of strange. They have an outdoor kids pool with a splash pad. Great place to take the kids during the summer. Then they have all kinds of classes. There's a gym, they've got yoga and Pilates and probably Zumba and all kinds of things. Strength training, whatever. All kinds of things, whatever, you name it, they've got it. Not to mention the entire block surrounding the Juniper Swim and Fitness Center itself is also a park. It's a meticulously, beautifully maintained park, lots of trees, lots of grass. It's a pretty special little block part of town. It's awesome. Next we have Hollinshead Park. Now to me, this is in like the core area of Midtown. I just love this area. Hollinshead is a 16-acre park with a community garden, lots of grass for walking and enjoying the outdoors. There's an off-leash dog park there. It's got a lot of cool things going on, not to mention the Hollinshead Barn. Now, this was an actual working ranch way long ago, kind of back in the day, and so the Hollinshead Barn is still there. And functions as an event center where you can go and, you know, have meetings or have events or have gatherings, have weddings perhaps. It's a really cool venue. There's 2 floors, so you know, you can dance on the, you know, main floor down below and maybe have your dinner and your reception upstairs. I don't know. Hollinshead Park is one of those parks that you don't really need a definite reason to go to. You just go and take a walk and just enjoy the peace that is offered by going to the park there. Okay, the last kind of amenity / park that we should probably talk about that is also located in this district is Pilot Butte. I'm sorry for the pimple joke earlier. Remember in all the movies, like growing up, where like you take the car up to the top of this vista where you look out over the town, where like the, you know, the 2 young high school kids can like make out in the car in the convertible, you know, whatever, long time ago. Remember that in the movies? Bend has that, like actually has that exact kind of thing. Pilot Butte, it's pronounced Butte, okay, is, well, check this out. Pilot Butte is an extinct cinder cone formed during a volcanic eruption about 188,000 years ago. That was a long time ago. Early immigrants actually used it as a land marker to know where the safe passage was to cross the Deschutes River. When you see the 480-foot butte sticking out of the middle of the ground, that's the best place to go over and cross the Deschutes River on your trek across the country. Okay, now you know what it is and where it is, but did you know that there's 3 different ways to get up there? There's a dirt trail that allows you to basically hike all the way up to the top of it. There's also a paved trail that allows you to get to the top. And then of course there is a road that you can drive. It's seasonal, of course. They don't want you going up there in the wintertime, but it's seasonal and you can drive up there in the summertime. And the payoff, no matter what route you take, is the same. Incredible views of the city of Bend and those gorgeous Cascade Mountains staring right in your face. And if you're lucky, you'll get a smooch from your significant other. Okay, so one totally off-topic thing, not really, but thing we have to talk about is what's with the orchard in Orchard District, right? Okay, now there are some kind of orchardy areas or places in Bend, but this isn't exactly one of them. So I had to look it up. Apparently back in the 30s, they planted an orchard where the Wagner Mall is located today as an experiment because they thought that the climate would work really well for apples. Turned out they were wrong and it didn't work out. Okay, so fun area, right? Cool spots, yeah? Great topography with the big trees and whatnot. So let's look at the neighborhoods and the housing that's located here in the Orchard District. But first, we gotta do this little thing where we stop and we ask you to subscribe to the channel here. Heck, if you made it this far into the video, you're probably going to be a big fan of all of the rest of the content that we have on this channel. So do yourself a favor, subscribe to the channel, maybe hit the little bell notification. We'd appreciate it. Okay, all right, thanks, let's move on. Okay, truth be told, the housing in this particular district is kind of a mess, but only because it's a much older part of Bend. Most of the housing here is single-family residential homes, which is great, but there are some multifamily areas and apartments kind of sprinkled here and there closer to 3rd Street as well. So I don't want to completely dismiss that. On the neighborhood side, there are 3 big chunks of neighborhoods from way back. Those are Bend Park, Center Edition, and Wiestoria. Whenever, forget all that. Wiestoria. Now these are all classic OG Bend hoods. You can just tell by looking at them. Many have that mid-century vibe, some of that classic mid-century like orange brick, if you know what I'm talking about. Maybe we'll pull some up here on the screen. There it is, that's the good stuff. The best in my opinion is to search in this area for some of those maybe 50s, 60s, 70s homes that's got really good bones and is ready for a facelift. Or maybe it's already had one, you know, I mean, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not doing remodels right now. I just don't wanna do the work. These lots are typically larger, and so they've got some extra room on the lot for that all important, maybe extra parking, or maybe even the ADU/casita thing, if that's your jam, if that's what you're looking to get into. Really good options in this part of town for doing stuff like that. But then the rest of the neighborhoods in this district are all, you know, kind of chunks of land. I mean, some of them are a little bit bigger, but all kind of chunks of land or maybe farms, hobby farms that have been bought by developers over the last 50 years and have been developed into different little neighborhoods. So there's a ton of variety in here. In fact, you could probably find a neighborhood that was built in basically like every decade from the last 50 or even 60 years In fact, you could probably find homes that have been built in just about every year imaginable for the last 50 years. And the great thing, in my opinion, is that most of these homes are on the kind of the median and lower price point. So they're just a little bit more affordable. This is the 97701 zip code, and if you caught one of our previous videos, we were talking about live market stats, and the 7701 zip code was the most affordable zip code in the Bend area. If you didn't catch that video, you should probably check it out. I'll put a little tag right up here. So the 97701 zip code was the most affordable zip code in Bend, with a median sales price of about $580,000. So this particular area is ripe for finding a really great deal at an affordable price. Now don't let that fool you, because there are still homes in this area that can tip the scales at nearly $1 million, but those are the exception, not the rule. All in all, Midtown, the Orchard District, is a very hip and cool place to live. Full of great amenities and parks. It's got great walkability. You can ride your bike around really well. It's home to big lots and classic mid-century homes. If you were looking for a project, or you just want to be close to things but not necessarily be on the west side, this neighborhood district could be a really great option for you. If you were thinking about buying or selling in the area, my team and I would love to be your local real estate resource of choice. You can find us at cromrealestate.com, or you could probably stock our information down below and reach out to us directly. We would love to hear from you. Thanks so much for watching. We love doing these videos for you. We hope you guys get some value out of them. If you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to reach out. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you next week.